Wei Dinghai then ordered everyone to charge forward and suppress the enemy. With firepower cooperation from the Xiaoyu base, they attacked the wall of ice and snow. All the soldiers from the two major bases quickly followed Wei Dinghai's command and attacked towards the ice and snow wall. Wei Dinghai used his special power, placing his hand on the wall of ice and snow. The wall exploded with a thunderous noise. The steel frame inside lost its support and collapsed with a loud crash. A hole was immediately created in the ice and snow wall of the shelter. Shards of ice and snow scattered everywhere like glass. Zhang Yi had to hold his breath in amazement at Wei Dinghai's power. Compared to Su Chunlei, it was clearly much stronger. Zhang Yi calmly told everyone, "Start the operation." He no longer cared about the wall being breached. After all, it was just a wall of ice and snow that couldn't withstand every attack. He didn't expect the enemy to have such a powerful ice and snow ability user. But he was prepared. Behind the ice and snow wall, the second line of defense was protected by Uncle Vu along with Liang Yu and others. Wei Dinghai laughed loudly, destroying the ice and snow barrier and quickly tearing open a large gap. But at that moment, a sudden flash of energy blocked him. Wei Dinghai's eyes sharpened. He turned and saw a cold light flash across his neck. At the spot on Wei Dinghai's neck, the thick ice armor shattered. Blue ice fragments flew around. Wei Dinghai quickly rolled on the ground to avoid a fatal blow. He clearly recognized the attacker, a woman wielding a long, thin sword, her face filled with killing intent. Wei Dinghai never expected that she could slice through his ice armor. At this moment, blood started spurting from his neck. Wei Dinghai felt more alert because his bone ice armor was made from ice crystals with defensive capabilities on par with high-grade alloy. He didn't expect to almost have his neck sliced through just now. Wei Dinghai had no intention of continuing the fight. He immediately merged into the ice and snow on the ground. In an icy environment, his combat power was at its strongest. Liang Yu frowned and shouted loudly. At this moment, Su Chunlei also arrived. He didn't expect to encounter another ice and snow ability user, and it seemed the opponent was much stronger than him. But fortunately, Zhang Yi was in command. Without hesitation, Su Chunlei lifted a large block of ice and snow. The snow layer around the hiding place was quite thin, related to the terrain and previous battles, so lifting a large block of ice and snow was as easy as turning a hand for Su Chunlei. Hiding within the ice and snow, Wei Dinghai saw the unfavorable situation and had to escape from within. Liang Yu was ready, waiting for him to appear. As soon as Wei Dinghai emerged, she delivered a strike filled with killing intent towards him. Crack! The long sword directly shattered the blue ice armor on his chest. Wei Dinghai felt a sharp, intense pain in his chest. A fresh red wound appeared and started to seep out. Enduring the excruciating pain, he quickly used his ability to create a new ice armor layer to cover his chest, temporarily stopping the bleeding. He hadn't expected that Zhang Yi's hideout would have such powerful close combat experts. Wei Dinghai thought to himself, after all, my goal has been achieved, breaking the ice and snow wall. As he thought, he decided to retreat. Liang Yu withdrew her sword, ready to attack, but Wei Dinghai quickly backed away. When Liang Yu was about to chase after him, countless warriors from the Xiaoyu base suddenly appeared in front of her, their weapons raining down like a storm. Liang Yu took a deep breath and decisively lunged into the crowd with her sword. Su Chunlei witnessed this and couldn't help but shout in astonishment, "Liang Yu, don't act recklessly." Zhang Yi, however, told everyone, "Just hold the breach in the ice wall. Let her go. Liang Yu needs to vent. Only by letting her fight for a while can she relieve the pressure. It's her choice, and I have no reason to stop her." Zhang Yi continued, "The main battle is still ahead. Everyone, be careful. Their mutants will also be arriving soon." During this intense phase of combat, the influence of ordinary people is diminishing, while mutants pose the greatest challenge. Indeed, after the defensive line was breached, gaps appeared in the ice wall, and the pressure on the coalition immediately lessened significantly. They simultaneously charged towards Zhang Yi's manor, mostly led by mutants. Xiao Honglian leaped onto an armored vehicle, clutching a bottle of liquor and taking a large swig. Then she opened her mouth and spewed out a long jet of fire towards the ice and snow defensive line. The solid ice and snow wall melted in an instant. The internal ammunition was also affected, unable to unleash its full power. The coalition's morale was instantly boosted. They shouted and charged forward, clearly seeing that behind the ice and snow defensive line was an empty space with only a magnificent manor in the background. Xiao Honglian yelled, "Victory is right in front of us. Charge!" The werewolves roared excitedly, then used all four legs to swiftly dart towards the breach in the defensive line. But at that moment, a heavy snowstorm began to form around the defensive line. Su Chunlei summoned a heavy snowstorm, creating an obstacle at the breach in the ice wall. Hua Hua, after growing larger, stood in front of the breach, looked at the attacking soldiers, and let out a piercing roar. Hundreds of soldiers were so shocked that their ears hurt, and some even bled from their ears and temporarily lost consciousness. Due to the headache and dizziness, they cried out. Heavy footsteps echoed. Uncle Vu transformed into a 2-meter-tall giant, wrapped in ammunition belts, carrying 2 6-barreled machine guns. He let out an angry roar and then firmly pulled the triggers. The coalition's vision was obscured by the falling snow. As they hurriedly searched for a way forward, they saw streaks of fire cutting through the snow. The bullets tore through the bodies of the soldiers one by one. Boom! 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 In the misty air, blood sprayed as the high-powered bullets shattered the soldiers' bodies. They fell quickly. Even though their combat gear was bullet-resistant, it couldn't withstand the frenzied onslaught from the 6-barreled machine guns. Elsewhere on the battlefield, Liang Yu had plunged into a killing spree. Her special ability was quite simple. It belonged to the enhancement system, which could augment her body's overall capabilities. This included speed, strength, reflexes, and even intuition. However, due to Liang Yu's exceptional talent as a swordswoman, when she gained these abilities, she became even more formidable, like a tiger growing wings. She fought openly on the battlefield, with no bullets able to touch her. Every slash of her sword brought down a soldier. Liang Yu's target was extremely clear, the members of the Yangsheng base. A werewolf standing not far from Liang Yu looked at her with predatory eyes. Turning my men into minced meat like that is unreasonable, isn't it? Liang Yu's pupils glowed with a strange, fiery red light. A peculiar aura enveloped her, presenting a terrifying image that Zhang Yi and Yang Xinxin had never witnessed before. The werewolf sensed something unusual about this enemy. He licked his crimson tongue and sneered, interesting. Then he crouched down, his body starting to enlarge. His fangs, bright as snow, grew much longer, resembling sharp blades. Liang Yu's eyes never left the werewolf. Her body slowly lowered as well. As a top martial artist, she was proficient in various international martial arts, including swordsmanship skills she had mastered. A single move could determine the life or death of her opponent. The werewolf's eyes gleamed with madness and bloodlust. He roared in anger, his figure instantly becoming blurry. He dashed through the air at an incredible speed, leaving behind a vague image that no one could clearly see his movements. As a beast-type mutant, he possessed the physical abilities of an animal. The werewolf, transformed into a grey wolf, had terrifying attack speed, even capable of intercepting continuously fired bullets. A frenzied wind quickly swept across the battlefield, and Liang Yu couldn't keep up with the werewolf silhouette. At this moment, her eyes became sharper than ever. In midair, the werewolf swung his iron claws from behind to attack Liang Yu.